Hello everyone, I hope you all are staying safe and healthy. So quick explanation, this is around 8 or 9 months late, I know, but I tried to film this video around the beginning of the year, but I was dealing with like several issues like filming wise and just with like my organization and my collection, so I never posted a video. But I haven't really made any updates to my photo card collection since February or March. I have been saving up every single photo card that I've traded or purchased in a separate box to do a massive storing video, so that should be coming in the next week or two when I receive most of the stuff that are missing. So in that case, I kind of wanted to do a belated photo card collection tour that's going to show the state of my collection that's pretty much stayed the same since February or March, which was when I started storing all the photo cards to make a massive storing video. Right before I do my tour of my collection, you might hear me say, oh, I'm missing a trade for this or a trade for that. At the beginning of every single one of my videos, I include my trade and selling Instagram account. It is Daniel XRDC Trades. So if you ever hear me mention, oh, I'm trying to trade this card, or this is a card I'm missing, I need to either buy it or trade it, I do have that account that you can always check. I have cards that I'm selling and cards that I'm trading. So if you are interested in that, please go check that account out. I do try and sell and trade worldwide for photo card size inclusions. So please be sure to check that out if you are interested, so you can help me with my collection and I can help you with yours. So with all of that out of the way, let's get on with the collection. I have 4 A4 binders, and in my first one I have my Donghan collection. Donghan is like my old bias of all old biases. He's like my favorite K-pop idol of all time pretty much. In this binder I have most of his inclusions from his JBJ, solo, and WEi eras. So first off, we're going to start with JBJ. I'm going to try and explain this kind of quickly because I had most of this updated at the end of 2021, which I never showed off. These two cards and these two cards are his regular album inclusions for Fantasy, and then this card is the like album card I have for True Colors, which is their second album. They never had photo cards in the album, so this is a Japan like Valentine's Day venue card from that era. And then these are Polaroids that are back to back, and they are like special non-album merch cards. I forget what they exactly are. And then these cards on the bottom are the album inclusions from the last mini album, which is New Moon. And then we move on to his solo cards. So he does have 3 solo albums, and for the first 2 he did 2 sets of 10 photo cards. So they do spell out a message in the back, so I stored these photo cards in the order that spells out the message from here to here. And then we have his second mini album, D Night. His orange hair is superior. And then this set of photo cards are like a special, I think, solo concert he did in 2019 before he did D Hours 703, which is his third album. And I love the backs of these cards. They are just adorable. And then here we have D Hours AM 703, which is his third mini album. I used to do album fillers for most of my collections, but it turns out that I hated them so much very quickly after, so I stopped doing that. This one kept my setup organized the way I wanted to, so I just kept it there. For this one, this is very special because since he was born on July 3rd and the album was called D Hours AM 703, there are 73 photo cards in this set. Right now in the binder I have about like 17 or 18, but with the cards that I have gotten over the course of these past few months, I think I'm at around 54 or 55 right now, which is very good, and I'm surprised I was able to reach that far. These photo cards are a set from a solo concert he held in 2020 before the pandemic. And these are his bookmarks that I got from his D Hours 703 album. I bought some of the cards on Mercari Japan, which came with the album and the bookmarks, so I just kept these. Next we have his WEi photo cards. So for WEi, I try to collect all his album and non-album cards as much as possible. I don't collect any like winning fan sign cards because those are just like super expensive, so I have no intention of trying to collect those. So this is his first site album inclusions. We have, I believe this is the WEi and I versions and the Polaroids for both versions. And then we have his pre-order benefits. So all of these I got from Mercari Japan except this one, which I bought on Instagram. So we have K-pop store for Make Star rounds, Joan Music and Oh What, And for Identity Challenge onwards, I decided to buy my initial copies of the album on Makestar in order to get enough cards to complete Donghan set, as well as get a card for every member for Makestar Round A, so I can start off my setup for each era like that. So this is Makestar Round A for challenge. And then we have the all version, the nothing version. I do have, I think, a Junso ticket that I am been trying to trade off for Donghan's, because that is the only ticket I'm missing. It's pretty much the only inclusion I'm missing for challenge era. And then the challenge version, this card and the POB for EZU round 2 are like my favorite cards of all time, because I just love this purple background with the red shirt. It's like my favorites. Alright, and so we have his pre-order benefits. So we have Makestar rounds B through E. I think they only did 5 rounds. And then we have K-pop store rounds 1 and 2, which I love this background. K-pop store 3 and 4, and then the 2 EZU cards for all their eras. They did 2 EZU rounds starting from Identity Challenge. That is actually pretty simple. And then I'm only missing this Music Korea card, but it's super expensive. It usually sells for like cheapest $45, and I feel like that's too expensive for me. Next we have Identity Challenge, so we have the Makestar Round A cards for that. And then we have for the album inclusions, I am missing just this one Ocean version group card. The other 2 versions only have unit cards. For this one, I'm just missing the last group card I need. So here we have the Ocean version, the Roller version, and the Wave version. And here are his pre-order benefits. I do have all of these cards here. The last 2 that I'm missing here, I have them ready to store away. But we have Makestar rounds B through G and the 2 Japan pop-up store cards they did. Now for future eras, they have a lot more. And then we have K-pop store rounds 1 through 3, and then these 2 are round 3, which were online and offline. And then we have 2 K-Town for you cards, EZU round 1, and I do have EZU round 2. And then for these pages, I do have most of my setup done for the First Love era, as well as the Japan First mini album. So I was just going to skip, but look at this is pages just set up for First Love and a Youth, the first Japan album. It's a lot. But anyways, next I have the 2021 Seasons Greeting set. I did collect just a full box set, so I have OT6. However, after 2021, I decided to only collect like the member I collected, not do full OT6 set, because now I don't have anything to do with the box and I just keep it here. It's just taking up space, but I do love this OT6 set. Then we have the photo cards. These are the album inclusions for the True Colors album. They didn't fit in 9 pocket pages, so I just put them in 4 pockets. And for larger inclusions for WEi, I do want to try and collect them. However, I don't really have the supplies and the resources at the moment to like trade off bare inclusions. I just stick to doing photo card size inclusions. Unfortunately, I'm just keeping what I pull, but it's because I also love the inclusions that I pulled. So I'm like kind of fine with just keeping it with this, because I just love these postcards so much. I didn't want to give them up. And then we have some bigger inclusions for Action era. And then we have the postcards from the 2021 Seasons Greetings. And then finally, when I trade or purchase a card, sometimes people make cards for me for the purchase or trade we did. So I just kept these here in the back because I love them so much. And this is actually a spoiler for another collection. All right, so this is my second binder, which is my main girl group binder. These are just the main girl groups that I was collecting when I first started my photo card collection. So I just kept all of these in just this binder. I have a bunch of here Promise extras and weekly extras that just didn't fit in the other binder, but they're mainly stored in my last one, so I just kept them in here. And I also have freebies from stores that I bought albums from. So here we have Weki Meki first off, and I have their OT8 K-Town for You set from Hide and Seek era or Oopsie era. I just bought a copy of each version and it came with 4 for each version, so I just kept the set. I don't like that they're bigger than the pockets. They're bigger than normal photo cards, so I wasn't able to like sleeve them or anything, but they've stayed in perfect condition and like this, so I just kept it like that. And for Weki Meki, I collect Ellie, so here we have her Weemi album set. We have her Lucky album set. I'm just missing one of each version. I do have cards that I have up for trade from Lucky era. And then we have the Lucky Kino. Then we have Kiss Kicks, which is complete. And then we have Lock and Lol, which I have the cards that I pulled up for trade. I have a Doyeon, Yoojung, and Suyeon. And then Weekend Lol, I have Lucy's, so I'm still trying to trade that off. And then we have Dazzle Dazzle, Hide and Seek era. For this version, I think I have Doyeon's that I pulled, and New Rules or Cool era. And then for I Am Me, Fantasio unfortunately decided to not include photo cards in that album. So for these, they're just pre-order benefits or fan sign cards. I do have this one that I recently purchased, and then I have about like 6 other cards that I recently purchased that will be coming on the way. I did join a group order for a couple of pre-orders for when the album was first coming out, but I think I got scammed. We haven't heard an update from the group order manager in like months now, so I think I got scammed. So unfortunately, that's what happens sometimes. But yeah, that's just the setup for the pre-order benefits for I Am Me. And then we have the 2021 Seasons Greeting set. I also bought this full OTA set. And then we have the postcards. And then I joined a group order for Weki Meki's second fan club. I was gonna put the first fan club inclusions here, but I haven't been able to find it. But I joined a group order and got Ellie's photo card and her postcard here in the back, which also comes with the Kiss Kicks postcards I got from my initial album pulls. And here I have the tags from New Rules. Here I have my GWSN collection. I collect Sokyung, she's my bias in the group, and I only collect album inclusions, so I'm fully complete for GWSN until their next comeback, which I hope happens at some point, because I really love GWSN. They're like one of my favorite groups, and I just really want to see and hear more music from them. So here is her Park in the Night trilogy cards. And then we have her Keys cards and Other Side of the Moon. And then these are just other inclusions. And then probably my most difficult collection, we have Red Velvet. I collect Irene, she's my bias in Red Velvet. It is hard to finish these collections with trying to trade these cards off. I have a lot of Red Velvet up for trade, so again, if you want to check that out, I have my Instagram account for that. For these 4 cards, I actually bought them on Mercari Japan, and the Red and Velvet cards came with the album, so I do have those albums with me in my collection. And I do have most of these cards up for trade. I also am missing just one of the Revit cards for Feel My Rhythm. And then here we have the 2021 Seasons Greetings set. It came with 3 or 4 different sets of cards. And these are some larger inclusions from day 1 and day 2 of the Revit Festival trilogy. And then we have the Seasons Greetings calendar postcards. And this is not an official photo card set, but one of my friends found this on Amazon for like $1 or $2 or something, and I really love the teaser versions of Oompa Oompa, so I love that they like made photo cards for it, so I just kept them in here. Came with a set of 10. And then we have my Irene larger inclusions from Finale and Queendom. And then for units and solos, I try to collect all the cards for that era. So for Monster, I do have 8 out of 18 cards. These are kind of low priority. I don't really like go trying to focus on finishing these collections, but they are a goal that I want to finish. And then we have the top and middle note postcards and the base note postcards. For Wendy's solo album, I did buy 2 copies of each version, and I did end up not getting a single dupe. So these are just all the inclusions I pulled, which is amazing. And then we have her bigger inclusions. And then for Joy's solo album, I only bought 1 copy of each. For Joy's, I might just have to end up trying to see if I can buy the other like copies that I need to finish this collection and try to trade it off, because buying the cards alone are probably going to be more expensive than trying to just buy the album itself, which is kind of weird. But yeah, these cards are really popular and kind of expensive. And then we have the postcards that came in the case, and I think this film strip came from the photo book. And that was it for the second binder. Next up we have my third binder, which is my blue binder. I do have kind of like more of like my other biases in here, like a majority of them. They're mostly boy group in here. The first collection I have is A.C.E, and I collect WOW. He's my bias in the group. I'm only doing this collection from Undercover, Mad Squad forward, because if you collect A.C.E, as you know, those earlier eras are like out of print and super expensive. And I actually started collecting A.C.E around this era, so I just kept it like that. So here we have the Undercover Maggot Squad set. I found this card in Mercari Japan, and I traded one of these cards for the Donghan I pulled, and I bought most of these from either Mercari Japan or Instagram. And I do have this one actually that I recently, or I purchased a few months ago, so I have that ready to store. And then we have Butterfly Fantasy. I am missing this card. I have a Donghan that I pulled, so I'm like desperately trying to find a trade for this last card that I need for that. Same for StayC shop. I have a Chan's StayC card that I pulled in my album, and I'm trying to find a trade for WOWs. And then for pre-order benefits, I also try to collect his pre-order benefits, kind of similar to how I collect Donghan, but there aren't as many, so it's a little bit easier. I did recently purchase this MMT Halloween card, so I do have that. I think I'm only missing Mixstar C. And then here I have his two My Lover cards, which are Japanese, I think, comeback. I don't think it's their debut. So I bought these on Mercari. Next we have Siren Dawn, or the higher era. So I have his 6 photo cards and his 2 lenties. And then I have the 4 first press Polaroids for these double-sided cards. When I was trying to find the last ones I needed, I found a set on Mercari that came with these group double-sided card, and I just kept it as a nice like filler in the middle because I like it a lot. And then for pre-order benefits, I have the Makestar Holo cards. And then I have Makestar B. I did recently buy the Market Shop pre-order benefit, so I do have that already with me. And next we have the final era, which is Changer. So I do have all this Polaroids, and I just recently, a few months ago, traded this card, so I do have that ready to store. I also recently bought the Makestar Holo card, and these unit cards almost made me cry when I bought them on Instagram. Like when I saw it, I had them in my possession. They're just so beautiful. I love these cards so much. And these are pre-order benefits for Changer. They're not a super huge priority, but I do want to eventually complete them, especially since now all the members are in their military service, so I do have a bit more time to try and finish this collection. For this, I have some other non-album cards. I did join a group order for the 2022 Season's Greetings. I was able to get this set from the same person who hosted this group order. I also purchased the photo book cards that they did earlier in 2022. I wasn't originally going to join any group orders for that, but I saw that they were selling the set as like a massive getting rid of things sale, so I decided to buy those cards because I also really like them a lot. And then for this card, it is a Undercover Mad Squad tour card. I gave up my G-Friend collection at the beginning of 2021, and somebody traded a K-Town For You benefit card that I got for this WOW card, which is beautiful. And then we have some other inclusions. This is an MMT pre-order exclusive inclusion. I got my initial copy of Butterfly Fantasy from an MMT group order, and this is a bookmark that I pulled. And next we have my Wonu from 17 collection. I don't have any of his older cards at the moment. I do have the Mingyu unit, and I think another You Make My Day, or either You Make My Day or Director's Cut card on the way. I purchased those recently, so those are on the way. The earliest cards I have are an Ode. I do have one of the Begin version cards that I also recently purchased, but I also do have some cards from an Ode up for trade on my Instagram as well. I have 16 out of the 20 Ano cards. I really want these Beret cards so bad, but they are so hard to find. Right, and for Hengade, it starts right here. I do have one Hana card, one Dur card, and a Net card, so I'm just missing the rest of those. I have his semicolon cards for Your Choice. I'm still trying to find trades for those. For Ataka, I accidentally purchased an extra copy. I do have some extras there up for trade, and I might sell the extras that I have. And then I bought his Carrot version card set from Mercari. And then I have Face the Sun and Sector 17 set up, but I have those ready to store away, so we could just skip that. Next up we have Shinee. So for Shinee, I collect Key, who is my bias. I also collect Key's solo album cards as well as Taemin as well, but Taemin's is not as extensive. So for Shinee, basically this whole like first page I found all of these cards in Mercari, and the odd cards also came with the album, which is just amazing. I love these cards so much. This era is like superior to me. Then we have the Story of Light group cards. I just kept the ones I pulled. And then I have his episodes 2 and 3 and epilogue. And then I have his Don't Call Me and Atlantis cards here. I am missing these 2 cards. I think I have an Onu Amino card that I need to trade for those. This 1 of 1 inclusion I found on Mercari just by itself. So I just kept it there. And I just kept these postcards that I pulled. And next we have the beginnings of my SM solo artist page. For this one, I have Luna from FX. Her Free Somebody album is one of my favorite albums of all time. I really wanted to buy this album when I first started my album collection, so I do have that. They were selling them on K-Town for You. I am missing the B version. I do want to get that at some point. I have Key's Face album cards complete, and for I Wanna Be, I'm just missing one of the Kino cards. And then these are his regular Kino cards. And then for Bad Love, I have everything complete. So I have his booklet and Space Ray Gun cards here. And then we have his box set cards, which I have all 3 versions here. Then we have his Bad Love bigger inclusions. I don't really trade. I just like kept all the dupes I pulled. Right, and then we have everything set up for Gasoline, which I should be getting those around mid-September. And then for Taemin, I try to just collect whatever I can at the moment. So these were cards I bought in Mercari. I found a store that was still selling the Move-In, which is the Move Repackage album cards, but I only bought 1 copy, so I have 1 of the 3 cards. And then for Want, I found each version on Amazon, so I bought each and just kept what I pulled. I haven't found the Want Kino anywhere, so I think those cards are just going to be super expensive, and I just haven't started even looking for that. For Never Gonna Dance Again, I just kept my pulls. Luckily, I didn't have any dupes. For Never Gonna Dance Again extended version, this is my initial copy pull. I did pull the selfie from extra copies I bought, but I traded with somebody for this extra dupe I got for an extra Act 2 card, and I think they're gonna also trade an Act 1 card for a key card I gave them as well. And then for Advice, this is my album pull, and I found this on Mercari. And then lastly, we have his bigger inclusions. That was it for this binder. Let's move on to the last one. So here we have my last green binder. This has pretty much all of the other like girl groups I collect and some other collections that aren't really as extensive as other ones. As you see here, I do have a bigger inclusion here for WOW. It's his 2022 Seasons Greetings like A4 size like poster card thing. Unfortunately, it did get ripped on the top because it does hang up on the top, but I had nowhere else to put this. I don't have an A4 pocket page. So this first few pages are my new From His collection. I started these earlier this year. I don't have any cards stored already, but I do have all of them ready to go. Whenever I store them, I'll just have them here ready. I do collect 2 members. I collect G1 and Hyung. So I'm just gonna skip all of the From His stuff because there's nothing there. And then we have my StayC collection. StayC is a girl group that I really like since So Bad era, so I decided to collect Jay, who's my bias in the group. I'm trying to just collect her album cards. Unfortunately, I do have a pre-order benefit, and I say unfortunately because I get tempted really easily, and StayC has a lot of pre-order benefits, and I don't want to start that because I'll just want to collect all of them. So I have her So Bad cards, one of her A$AP cards, and only one of the Stereotype cards. I did pull Seon for both of her Type B cards, and I traded with somebody from Germany, but they ended up giving me only a J Special card and the Weaver's Pop. They didn't have any of her regular album cards, so I just went through with the trades just because I wanted to help them out. And the cards look really pretty, but I don't want to get tempted. So I have pretty much everything set up except for the digipack for We Need Love for their 2022 eras, and I do have all the cards here. I think I'm just still missing the digipack card from a trade, so that should be coming soon. And I have her bigger inclusions here. Next up, I have Weeekly. I collect Monday. She's my bias. I fell in love with Weeekly after listening to After School once, but then I loved Zigzag so much more. Like Zigzag is one of my favorite Weeekly songs, and I started to love the group a lot. Unfortunately, for trying to trade them on Instagram, a lot of people are just giving up their Weeekly collection and trading for others, so it's been a hard time trying to collect, especially for their older album stuff. I might have to eventually at some point just resort to buying the cards, since a lot of people are also selling their collections, but I really love Weeekly and I still want to collect them. I'm not a big fan of Vampara as an era, but Monday had blue hair, so I really love her cards that era and want to collect those. I don't have the We Can or We Are complete, but I do have We Play and Play Game Holiday complete. And I also don't collect pops for her, but when I bought my Play Game Holiday albums from a store in the US, they came with Apple Music Korea benefit cards. I don't know why, so I pulled hers. I didn't have to trade for that. And then we have her set up for Play Game Awake. And these are just some extra inclusions. And here we're gonna start getting into collections that aren't really extensive. So first up we have Brave Girls. I was buying their albums starting from Summer Queen, obviously, since Rollin' and other albums are super hard to collect, but I decided at the very last minute to collect Minyoung because at first I wanted to just keep the cards that I pulled because I just love them so much, but most of the cards I were getting were Minyoungs. Like I literally pulled 2 of these for After We Ride, so I decided just to collect Minyoung, and for Thank You, I think I got Eunji and a Minyoung, so I have one of Minyoung's cards for this. Then we have some of her bigger inclusions. I also really like this Yoojung postcard for Summer Queen, so I really wanted to keep it. And then we have K&K. So for K&K, I really got into them around Sunset and Ride era. Those are like songs that I really, really like. So I just decided to collect my bias in K&K, which is Soham. Unfortunately, he left the group, so there's really no other cards I need to collect except for these. So I have one of his on version cards and both of his off version cards. I got these from Setsum Mercari Japan, so I still have like my pulls that I need to trade off. And I did pull Insung for both cards for Sunset, like literally the same exact card. And I haven't found the Mixstar card. I've been getting a lot of people, I think from China, who have been messaging me trying to see if I was selling my K&K cards, but I've just been trying to trade them. So again, if anybody has any Soham cards that they want to trade for any other K&K card or any other card that I have up for trade, please let me know and message me so I can contact you. And then we have the MMT card, which I did find on Mercari, and the Mixstar pre-order set, which I got from Instagram. Next up, we have Glassy, Yuri's first solo album. I love this era so much, so I decided on Mercari to get her cards. So I found a listing that had the complete set that you would get from an album but for cheaper, and I found somebody who was also selling a set of 8 over 12 cards, which was amazing. So I do have those 8 here, and the other 2 cards I got were dupes, so I do need to put those up for trade. And I also have both her lenties. I haven't set up or bought any copies of her latest comeback because at the time that it came out, I was just focusing on other collections, and the way that the inclusions were going, I was just not agreeing with it at all. So I'm trying to see if I can find her cards without having to buy the albums from like a group order or something, but they're not a huge priority. Next up we have CLC. So I do just keep the cards that I pull, but my bias is Yeon, and she is like my old bias as well. Like she's on the same level as Donghan for me. I love her so much. I am super excited to see what she does with her solo work, and if she does release physical albums, I will be getting them because I just love her so much. So these are just the pulls that I kept. So I bought Black Dress in like late 2020, and I got Soren's card. I got No One or Number One as a gift for my birthday in 2019, and it came with Yeon's card. And then these are my 2 pulls from Helicopter, which I bought on K-Town for You. And next, these are just some other inclusions from Helicopter, and these are like big stickers. Right. And then for Season's Greetings, when Elkie had announced that she had left the group, I was kind of not agreeing with her stance on like supporting the Chinese police, so I was wanting to give that up. And also for Soren, after she left the group, I was going to try and see if I can sell those cards, especially to give the Soren cards to someone who would probably want them more than I did, because I was also even considering just giving up the Season's Greeting set. But I got really sentimental, so I just decided to keep them. I don't know where I left the Soren cards, so I don't know. I need to find that so I can just put it here. But here we have the postcards as well. And then the rest of this binder are just cards that, like albums that I bought that I just kept the cards. I didn't even trade them. I didn't even try and finish the sets. So here I really loved Apink's Dum Dum comeback. So I bought just one version of the album and I got Hyung's cards. Here we have the postcard. And then for day 6, I only have one album, and it was the album that came with the concert ticket. I went to see them in 2019, and the ticket also came with a signed album as well as a high touch. So I ended up pulling literally every inclusion of my bias line, which is Younghae and Donghan. So I have this Younghae card, Younghae Donghan unit card, and then I found out that this is a Donghan bookmark and a Donghan postcard. And then we have NCT 127. So I never really collected them, but for 2019, I went to their concert. They came to my city, and I really loved the concert so much. And they gave us a code to buy the Superhuman album for $4. So I was like, yeah, of course I'll buy it. So I got Doyoung's card and Yuta's circle card and Neozone. I think I got the N version. I got the yellow one as a birthday gift. So I got Jungwoo's card and Taeyoung's circle card. And then for Punch, I just bought the album because I was really excited and I liked the concept that they were going for. So I got Johnny's card and Mark's circle card. And then these are the postcards I pulled from those albums. And yeah, that is it for this album and for my collection. So I'm going to finish off with just the setup because it's kind of hard to put all my binders in frame here, but thank you very, very much if you made it this far into the video. I tried to make this as quick as possible, not to make this a super long video, since I will be making a new one in December, so in the next few months. So I just wanted to show the state of my collection as it was in the beginning of the year. If you liked it, please be sure to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I usually make unboxing videos, collective hauls, updates to my photocard collection, binder organizing, and things like that. In the descriptions of my videos, I usually leave links to my social media, organizations, resources, the background music I use, a future schedule of videos I will upload, as well as a song recommendation, which for this video will be Dancing Till We Drop, which is a B-side from The Boys, hint hint. It's one of my favorite The Boys songs of all time. When I first listened to that song, it was that summer groovy kind of song, and that's kind of my bread and butter most of the time. That song came at the perfect time for me, and I just love listening to it when I want to get into the groovy mood, I guess. So I do hope you enjoy that song if you haven't listened to it, and I hope you all take as many necessary precautions as you need to take in order to keep yourself and those around you safe and healthy. I wish you all the very best, and I will see you in my next video, which should be an unboxing of my WEi First Love group order items. So that should be in the next week or so. Bye for now.